Hello again to another Agricolor React, and today we're watching Places That Break Country Geographic Stereotypes from Geography Bible. And I'm guessing I might get surprised because it's about stereotypes, so basically stuff that we assume about a place, and it's not true, it's totally different than what we assume. So let's just jump in and let's see what kind of stereotypes they're gonna break.
Believe it or not, this is England, the Isles of Scilly specifically. Now, when you think of the UK/England, what do you think of? Maybe the busy streets of London, overcast grey clouds over historic towns, or perhaps rolling green hills like this. I'm gonna assume that practically nobody pictured this. So the Isles of Scilly are an archipelago off the southwest coast of England. The beaches here are made up of white sand and the waters are crystal clear, and you'll also see palm trees in places. It honestly looks more like something you'd see in the Mediterranean or perhaps somewhere even more exotic. There are around 140 islands within this archipelago, of which only 5 are actually inhabited, with the most populated being St. Mary's, which is home to some 1,800 people. Next up is this snow-capped mountain range. I will literally give you £1 million if you're able to guess.
That previous one, it kind of brings to me as well, I believe the Channel Islands are part of England as well, isn't it? Well, technically, although they're kind of closer to France, and they used to be French as well in some stages of the time. But that's what it is. Most likely probably gonna be things that we don't really assume about because they aren't really in the places where they are. Like, if you think about England, you think about the part where London is and surrounding area of the Great Britain, isn't it? Yeah, and these mountains. Yeah, I probably won't know where it is. Probably something that's gonna be surprising. Let's see.
Which country this is found in. It's a country in Southeast Asia, a place you don't really associate with snowy mountain tops. It is in fact Myanmar. So at a very impressive 5,881 meters,
it is on the foothills of
the highest point in the country.
Himalayas.
The peak is found in the very north of the country,
Isn't
not
it?
far from its
Am
border
I mistaking
with China.
my geography
this
here now?
mountain is found in what is known as the Greater Himalayan Mountain System.
Yeah.
5,881 meters also makes it the highest point in Southeast Asia. Now, I'm not sure about you, but when I think of Myanmar, I think of jungle, hot weather, and river systems. Not necessarily tall, snowy mountains. Now, if I was to show you this image, I guarantee you can't guess where it is. It's just a very generic looking hill with some grass and shrubs. It looks like somewhere from a temperate climate region, maybe somewhere in Europe. This next image shows that it is most certainly not in Europe.
Iran?
Yes, those are camels walking through grass. The image is actually from a region that is covered primarily in desert.
Well, actually quite
it is in fact the Dhofar Mountains, which stretch from Oman to Yemen. There is also a nature reserve within this region, specifically Oman, named Wadi Darbat. It is home to this incredible waterfall system where you'll see camels drinking from the water. Not exactly the first thing you'd imagine when you think of Oman. Now, when you think of Pakistan in terms of natural geography, what pops into your head? For me, it's got to be arid desert landscapes and mountain ranges. According to the Köppen climate classification, most of the country is arid hot desert. Yet its capital city looks like this. Very, very green. I remember the first time I saw a picture of Islamabad, I was actually very surprised. I was not expecting to see so much greenery and trees. However, don't let the greenery fool you into thinking that this city sees livable and pleasant temperatures. During the summer, the city sees some extremely high temperatures.
It's quite a good few days
when you search
of
Google
rain as
images
well,
for the geography of Brazil, you'll mainly see the Amazon rainforest. This comes to no surprise as it covers around 60% of the entire country. Now this is kind of nuts considering the country is the 5th largest on Earth at around 8.5 million kilometers squared. However, check this out. This is a national park found in the northeast
There's
of the
water
country.
next to the
It is
desert.
an absolute
Whoa,
spectacle to say
that
the
is so
least.
cool.
The national park includes
another place.
70
I've just made
kilometers of
reaction last week
coastline
about
with an
Brazil.
interior filled with rolling sand dunes. During the rainy
the
season,
dunes,
the
okay,
dunes
wow.
fill with freshwater lagoons
That
which
is
don't
so
actually
cool.
drain due to the impenetrable rock beneath, which then, lucky for us, provides this incredible view. The region is sometimes known as the Flooded Desert. The reason why Greenland is called Greenland is because a murderer was once exiled there. He then named the island Greenland in hope of attracting other settlers. It turns out that Greenland isn't very green, but more white due to the snow and ice that covers most of it. However, there are some green places that can be found here, such as the Kingawa Valley, which is where you'll find Greenland's only forested area. The forest only runs for around 15 kilometers and is found in the very south of the island. It is thought that more forests once existed in Greenland, but early settlers cleared them to create wood for fire or for building materials. Although nearly all of ice-free Greenland has an Arctic tundra climate, some sources suggest that this valley may have a sub-Arctic climate, hence the reason why some plant life actually exists here. Any ideas where this could be? The rolling green hills look like something from maybe Peru, the Azores in Portugal, or maybe even somewhere in Central Europe, right? Well, this is actually Saudi Arabia, believe it or not.
Whoa.
This is the Asir mountain range, which can be found in the southwest of the country, not too far from Jeddah and the Red Sea. The absolute vast majority of this country is classed as hot desert. It sees very little rainfall and experiences extreme temperatures. Yet this region, as it's so high up, does see cooler temperatures and rainfall throughout the year, creating a very green and pleasant region. The Asir Mountains cover an area of some 100,000 kilometers squared, about the same size as South Korea.
Oh, that's big.
Now, when you think of Uganda, you likely think of dense forests and mountain
thing.
gorillas. Well, that's what pops into my head anyway. But can you believe that this image was in fact taken in Uganda, an equatorial country found in the middle of Africa? This is in fact Margarita Peak, found on Mount Stanley, the highest point in the country. The peak is some 5,109 meters
okay, that
above
explains
sea
it then.
level, hence why there is so much snow. This actually...
If they're gonna be a high peak like that, over like certain amount, thousands of meters high, there definitely gonna be some snow on it year round, isn't it? We can't really... It's just that we don't hear about those mountains and we mostly see pictures of kind of like the stereotypical parts of the country. Then yeah.
Makes the mountain the third tallest on the continent. It is around 700 meters shorter than Mount Kilimanjaro. When I think of Japan, the first thing that pops into my head are its bustling megacities like Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. Absolute concrete jungles. I then also think of the more natural side of Japan, with views like this: green rolling hills, cherry blossoms with rivers, and Japanese traditional architecture. I don't necessarily think of tropical paradise landscapes like this, but this is in fact Okinawa in Japan, which can be found some 650 kilometers south of the mainland. Okinawa offers some of the most pristine beaches and crystal clear waters on Earth. When you look at videos like this, you'd probably think you were looking at maybe Thailand or somewhere in the Caribbean, but this is in fact Japan. It's kind of crazy that both of these images are from the same country.
Well, it's not that crazy if you think about the fact that Japan spans north to south. So up north you're gonna have winters, really bad winters or snowy winters, and you're gonna have there's mountains pretty much all because they exist because of the what's that called seismic activity. So obviously they're gonna be mountainous regions as well. And Japan, as far as I'm aware, it's pretty much everywhere. The hills. You don't really see flatland in Japan too much. This probably is, but well. So if you're gonna be like up north, nearly by where they border with, not even border, but they still kind of feud with Russia over one island there, isn't it? Up north by Siberia, and it goes up, down to the south, where you can see like nearly by Taiwan. Not that surprised if you think about it.
Okinawa, and on the right the snowy mountains which can be found further north. Now, can you guess where this is? If your geography is decent, you might be thinking that it is Rainbow Mountain in Peru. Well,
no.
although it looks very similar, this is actually a place found on a completely different continent, some 14,000 kilometers away. This is in fact Hormuz Island in Iran.
Wow.
It's a small island found in the Persian Gulf, north of the UAE. The island is home to red beaches, black sand, and these rainbow-coloured mountains and hills. This is why the island is sometimes known as Rainbow Island. The high levels of iron oxide has resulted in the soil turning red, which in turn runs off into the water, turning it pink. The 42 kilometer squared island is dense in around 70 different minerals, which gives the island its distinctive rainbow colours. By average elevation, Nepal is the second highest country on Earth, at some 3,265 meters. This is due to the country being found within the Himalayan mountain range. The country therefore has some of the most spectacular landscapes on the planet, with views like this. So when you think of Nepal, this is likely what you imagine, right? Well, Nepal is also home to terrain like this, as what can be found in the Chitwan National Park. The park only covers an area of just less than 1,000 kilometers squared, but it is home to dense forest and grassy plains where you'll find incredible animals such as elephants, rhinos, and tigers. The park is found here in the south of the country, near its border with India, which makes sense as the south of the country is much flatter than in the north, where you'll find the likes of Mount Everest. Other than Pablo Escobar and the illegal products he used to sell, when you think of Colombia, what pops into your head? It's got jungle, tropical beaches, and mountain ranges.
True.
But did you know that the country actually has a 330 kilometer squared desert? The desert is named Tatacoa and is found in the central west-ish part of the country. It looks like this. It honestly looks like something you'd see in the Grand Canyon in the US or even
very
Mars.
similar.
The region is actually what is known as a tropical dry forest rather than a barren desert. And, as you'd expect, it is home to all kinds of creepy crawlies, such as scorpions, spiders, and rattlesnakes, which is actually where the region got its name from. Tatacoa means an angry person or a hot-tempered person, which in this case is a rattlesnake. Although you may know Vietnam for being a very hot and humid country with landscapes like this, the country also gets very cold and sees snowy regions. So this is Sapa, a place where yours truly has actually been to. Now, when I went, I didn't actually see any snow. However, it was cold enough for the hotel that I was staying in to have a roaring fire. So Sapa is found in the very north of the country, not far from its border with China. The region sits at around 1,600 meters above sea level, which means it does see snow in the winter. Vietnam being such a long country means it sees many different climates and terrains,
it goes
ranging from
north to south again
paradise in its far south, rolling green rice paddies throughout the country, and then snowy mountains in the north. So there we have it, some places that break traditional country geographic stereotypes. If you can think of any others, let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see part 2. And thank you so much for watching.
I can think about one in Poland. Basically, people don't really think about the fact that Poland does have deserts as well. And it's man-made apparently, like some time ago. And it's not how I would... this is not how I expect a desert to look. But it's kind of interesting how... I'm gonna show you now the pictures. Let me just find it's called Pustynia Błędowska. What means in English Błędów Desert. Błędów Błędowska. Okay, let's see. Can we go to the maps, please? Okay, so this is how Pustynia Błędowska looks. It's quite big, and this is the viewing point, and here are the pictures. So it doesn't really look like the desert I would be thinking when you hear the word desert, I think. Desert? Yeah, I have a problem between differentiating the word desert for like a Sahara desert and then desert, yeah, you know, as a sweet treat. So, yeah, here you go. And that's the desert in Poland. But weirdly enough, there you go, there's something that kind of looks more like what you would think. I'm guessing this is the part. I haven't been there, but I've been somewhere else that actually does look more. But it's just dunes. Look, there's even lakes and stuff, so I wouldn't be going for it like, oh yeah, this is something that definitely everyone couldn't gonna find themselves there. This, but and the other place I'm talking about is Vidme dunes. Web are dunes, and they are moving. Let's see. From a Vidme. Trying to find a map or something. There you go. So. So the other one is up north. It's over the Baltic Sea, and it's between the lake as well. There's a Websko lake, and there's Weba, a city here. You can see over here, and there is the dune. This is basically coastal preserve of lakes, swamps, peat bogs, and meadows, plus shifting dunes with viewing towers. So when you go to the pictures, there's a lot of pictures, and this is looking more, and I've been there as a kid, and this is looking much more as what you would expect to dune to look like. Not dune, sorry, a desert, because it's so sandy and all. So basically, obviously there's some, there's viewing towers and stuff. Now, I don't remember any viewing towers when I was there, but that was 30 years ago, so, you know. And it's on the sea. So there's beaches as well, and it's a national park there too. So obviously there you're supposed to be on. I thought that was water at first. Yeah. So basically, because that dune is actually moving, it keeps moving on to plants that they're growing, and because it's sand and stuff, for some reason they can't survive, so they're dying. So on the edges of the dune, you always see those all. Dead trees and all that. So yeah, that's it. And so this is one of the stereotype that you won't find. What would you want to find in Poland? But honestly, you find everything in Poland, because there's a sea, there's mountains, there's lakes, there's desert, there's dunes, there's multiple things that you can find really interesting. And I think every country have something that people automatically think about when they hear the name of that country, and then there are things that people don't know about. So yeah, so it's kind of normal. That's why it's a stereotype, but it's broken. So yeah, that video was very good, very well, very interesting, and honestly, the only thing that didn't surprise me was the Okinawa in Japan, because I did hear and watch stuff about Okinawa before, so I knew about it already. But like I said, the countries that they go in north to south, they most likely gonna have some snow in winter, cold winter weather, and nice tropical climate as well. Maybe except, oh no, Chile as well, but that actually goes all the way around, because the north gonna be the hotter part, of Peru, and Peru. The north of the Peru gonna be hotter part, and the south gonna be colder part, isn't it? No. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you tomorrow. Bye.